What's going on, football fans, and welcome back to another edition of Breaking the Birds. Upgraded the mic here, as you see. It's just unfortunate that that happens to be up to an absolutely brutal loss. And I don't know about you, but I'm sick and tired of the Eagles being humiliated when they play in Dallas. And that was very much the case once again this week. But win or lose, we're going to go through the tape. I can understand if you don't want to relive this whole thing once again, just take it in bits, take a little break and then come back. But we're going to go through it, and we're starting out with Jalen Hurts. So we're starting the day out pretty well here with a big gain for Dallas Goedert. Playing one single high man coverage to the top. We got two underneath zones. And this is set up to be an easy read for Hurts. You got the two underneath crossers coming here. He's just going to read the levels of those guys, the two deep here to the top. They're just going to clear the defenders. They're not really turning for the ball at any point. They're not designed to get the ball here on the play. It is designed to be as easy as possible, and as Hurts reads the underneath zone guy coming up here for Rager, he puts a good ball on Dallas Goedert. Now you could argue the ball should have been a little bit more in front of him, so he would have been able to just catch and run while he was already in stride. But overall, can't complain about the read. It's set up to be an easy read for Hurts. There is really no progression in this play. This is basically just read which one of these two guys are going to get the most separation from the underneath defenders. Then we have RPO right here. We're going to have split zone with Dallas Goedert coming in here. We have the check down to the outside in the passing option for Quez. It's a fine job. Get some good yards. So after two good plays, we're going to stall this one here with an interception on a poor pass for Jalen Rager at the top. He's going on the go route here. Cover one man for Dallas. And underneath here, you have a rub route, which is it's a fine combination. You have the slot guy going a little bit deep. He's going to rub off the outside cornerback, so Devontae Smith has a good release inside there. So you got the rub here, and then that's a good option to get the first down if you want. And then you also have the deep route there at the top. Now, ball is underthrown a lot, and obviously becomes intercepted. And take a look at here what Hurts does. He's going to look at the safety here for a good couple of seconds before he's turning back there for Jalen Rager. And when you have the single high safety and you have two outside split wide receivers here to the bottom, you have the tight end here. He's not going to respect that top side as much because the primary deep threats are to the bottom of our screen here. So you can just look him off quickly and then come back for the throw. So you have a little bit better idea of where this DB is, because as he is turning back here, he's already in his throwing motion. So he hasn't really had time to see, all right, where is the DB and where am I going to put this ball? And also, it's a terrible job by Jalen Rager not coming back for the ball when he clearly sees that it's underthrown immediately. So that's just bad with bad. So next drives, we're backed up at the goal line. We're going against cover two, and there's a good sit option in over the middle with Zach Ertz. We're going to have the three-hole defender cleared by Dallas Goedert, who is going a little bit deeper. And that is the primary and easiest read for Jalen Hurts at this point. He's going to put it for Zach Ertz. The idea is fine enough that you want to have your guy come in here and sit underneath the hook to curl guy and the three-hole guy who is getting carried downfield, because that is going to leave some space and would have resulted in at least 5 yards had he make this catch. Looking at it from the box view, you're going to see that the ball is thrown wildly to the back end of Zach Ertz, thrown behind him, so he has to reach back for the ball. It's an easy pass for him to make. You just throw it towards the middle of the field where you know the three-hole defender is getting carried away. The only threat to Zach Ertz at this point is to the outside of him where you have the three-hole, the hook to curl defender. You want to put this to the inside, hit him in stride so you can turn and run inwards towards the middle of the field and get extra yards. So, bad pass, drop ball too. This time we're going against man coverage. We got off coverage at the bottom here with Javon Diggs. He wants to keep everything in front of him. Good route here by Devontae Smith. Getting a little bit of separation. Ball is placed well to the outside. Get some easy yards. Easy pitch and catch. Final play of this drive ends in a frustrating way. We're going against cover two for the Cowboys. To the bottom we have levels concept. That isn't really working against cover two, especially when the cornerback is traveling with the number one receiver a little bit inside, because that doesn't threaten the hook to curl defender at that point. To the top we have sort of a divide concept. They have a post from the number two receiver and then a streak route from the number one. But the way that Jalen Rager is running this is horrible, because you want him to give full speed here. Look at the half-ass effort he puts on this route to clear the flat defender. And it sucks because the deep defender to that side is actually carrying, I believe it's Quez. He's carrying the number 2 receiver wide inside here. So that's a big-ass opening to that side of the field deep. So if Rager would have just given a little bit of effort on this play, maybe he would have been able to sprint down there and actually clear from these guys. So that sucks. Let's take a look at Jalen Hurts here. That's a pretty good pocket. And he decides to step up into the pocket because this trigger gene of his is going off immediately when he doesn't have anyone open at that on this play. Now, let's see if I can get this right. All right, let's look at here from the box view. I just see the pocket that going here. Miles Sanders with the bonkers block here on Leighton Vander Esch, lighting his ass up, and everything holds up well at that point. And he runs into a B gap, which is filled with defenders, and really everything from that point is just, it doesn't really matter. If he actually just stands in here, you could tell that he already has an idea where he wants to go. He's looking down the middle of the field to see whether that levels concept is going to clear anyone. When it doesn't, he panics instead of going through reads. Now you can argue that there isn't really nobody open at that point, but he's not even trying to find them. He's just starting scrambling immediately as soon as that first read is covered. So disappointing play from Rager and Hurts once again. Screenplay from Miles Sanders. It's an easy throw for Hurts. Really doesn't demand much of him. Good to see Sanders work in space here, get those like 9 yards there. Power option for Jalen Rager on this play here. So we're going to have 2 pullers coming to the side here, Lane Johnson and Landon Dickerson. And he is going to key on Randy Gregory to see whether or not that he's going for Miles Sanders or for the option route there. Now, Gregory stalls to that outside. He keeps good contain. So the right decision there is keeping the ball yourself. So good job by Hurts at this point. But Landon Dickerson's block here, or block attempt on Micah Parsons, is so incredibly pathetic that this is blown up immediately in the backfield. So good read by Hurts here. He does the right thing. He does what he has to do. But what in God's name was that? Jesus Christ. One of the most frustrating plays last week against the 49ers was on a 3rd down rollout where you have a flat concept. Goddard is wide open in the flat. Hurts can just flick it off to him, let him run for a 1st down, no problem. Instead, he held on to the ball, threw to a much more tightly covered Devontae Smith for an incompletion. This week, we see it here, another 3rd down early in the game, trying to move the ball here down. And it's cover 1 man for the Cowboys, and Sirianni draws up the perfect play call with a mesh concept. Devontae Smith coming underneath as the crosser here. Trevon Diggs is getting rubbed off in the middle, has to step a little bit upfield, and so Devontae Smith gets a ton of separation. For some reason, let's just take a look at the pocket first. Because Jalen Hurts decides to roll out. He doesn't have to do that. The pocket here is fine. But you can also maybe argue that he knows that his primary guy is coming to the top here in Devontae Smith, and so he rolls out to that side because, you know, it doesn't really make the throw that much harder. You know, you're throwing to your natural side. But I can't explain what he sees here. I cannot explain it. Take a look from the box view. This is your tight end tightly covered further downfield. This is your best wide receiver on the team with a 5-yard cushion from Trevon Diggs. You could lob it to him. You could gun it in there. It does not matter. You just get it to him. Let him run for 10 yards. Instead, you throw this much more difficult throw to a much more tightly covered receiver. And just what the hell? Why do you make it harder on yourself when it's right there in front of you? Cover 1 man, and Devontae Smith to the top gets a really good release off Trevon Diggs. And he's coming across the middle. That is your primary man-beating route. The other guys really don't get any separation here naturally. The coverage favors the defense on those ones. But the crossing route here with Devontae Smith is a good option. Jalen Hurts scrambles out the pocket immediately. A little bit of pressure out the middle, but really nothing the O-line can handle at that point. But he's coming up here and really doesn't have his eyes downfield. He's decided now, all right, I'm going to run it. What he could have done is to keep his eyes downfield a little bit and be the passer. He would see that his guy, Devontae Smith, is coming across here as the man-beating route, and you could lob this one over there, over to Leighton Vander Esch, and let Devontae Smith go get it. Instead, it's a no game play. Last play of this drive, we have another cover 1 man for the Cowboys. We're going to sit 2 over the middle. We're going to have a slant for the outside guy here in Dallas Goedert. The cornerback up here is lined up to the inside of Dallas Goedert to begin with. So for him to get any separation going in, he'd have to run a pretty smooth route here or cut it inside immediately. Neither happens, and the ball is placed behind him. This isn't the best play call here against man coverage, but you do have a good option down here at the bottom, because when it's man coverage like this, you know that one of these guys have to cover the running back, and you have a guy coming in here and crossing over the middle, and that is going to pick up or rub off the linebacker has to get out there and cover in the flat here on Miles Sanders. It isn't the most ideal situation. You'd have to place the ball a little bit to the outside of him, but he is in man coverage against a guy who is coming out there, and you could gun it into him there at that point and let him work, and he's man. He has to just make that guy miss, and then it's a big play. It like I said, it's not the best play opportunity, but everything else here is bad. You have crossers on man and who's sitting, which is weird, and you have a man covered tight end to the top here against an inside shaded cornerback. I know what I would have thrown, but that's just me. The fun bit about this is we actually see the exact same play a little bit later, and we also see it against man. So here you get to see exactly what I was talking about. I didn't even plan this when I was going through these play-by-play, but we see the same thing here where you got the crossers, you have the deep right there by the slot, and then at the top to the two receiver side, or to the one receiver side where the running back is two, you have a guy crossing in the middle here and sitting, and then you have the guy going flat. So maybe they saw this play early and said, all right, this is actually the look we want. Let's go for that. So maybe you're not all the way wrong about that. Once again, we have the running back covered by the linebacker. I would have liked Hurts to realize that this linebacker is not as athletic as the DB who was lined up a linebacker and the other play, and then put this at a little bit more of a lob. It will make it a lot easier for the running back to catch the ball, because Light Vander is just not going to run with Kenneth Gainwell up here by the top. So if you lob that one into this area and let Kenneth work towards the ball, that would have been easier for Gainwell. Of course, you would have to read the linebacker to actually do that. The ball is catchable. It's behind Gainwell. It's a tough catch to make. He's absolutely open. He absolutely can make that catch. But yeah, lobbing the ball in there when you have that much space to work with and the linebacker being underneath would be my evaluation of a better throw. Split zone read. So Dallas Goedert is going to be a lead blocker if you decide to keep the ball yourself. You're still keying on the defensive end here. So you can argue maybe you want to give the ball off here. I don't know if this is by design that they want to get Jalen Hurts out in space with the lead blocker. Could be. But you could also give the ball off here and get some yards here on first down. Hurts keeps the ball himself and gets run down by Micah Parsons. Gets a little bit of yards, so not entirely a bad play. RPO here. We got zone coverage, and the outside cover guy, the linebacker here, is going to travel with the tight end. Hurts reads that well and delivers a good strike in there for Devontae Smith to get the first down. Maybe the most executed play in what feels in forever in this game. Man coverage for the Cowboys, max protection for the Eagles, and you have a post, out, and flat. Those are your three options. And your two tight ends out there and your running back out there. It's not like these guys getting any separation anyway. I'm not sure if when I'm going max protection, want to take a deep shot, if it's my tight ends that I want to get to do that with. But it's just frustrating when you're dialing up max protection that you give up the sack this damn quick. God. So it sets up 3rd and long, and we have a cover 2 for the Cowboys here. And I really like this play call. And it's a good read by Hurts. You can tell he reads it immediately, gets some pressure in the pocket, so he has to roll out, but gets the ball off anyway. You have a sit. You have a curl here from the 3 receiver. That is going to bite up the 3-hole defender, and actually also the curl defender at that point. And then you have from the number 2 receiver, you have a deep crossing route here, sort of like a dig route coming there. And he's open. He gets open as soon as he cuts. Now, the beautiful thing about the play is that the 3-hole defender actually realizes, all right, there's a guy coming deep. So right here, he's setting up. So if it was a clean pocket, you would have been able to deliver a bomb in here in between the safeties and the 3-hole guy. If not, and that happens, the 3-hole guy gets gets some depth here. So good job by Quez Watkins of sliding a little bit to the middle with a tight window. Hurts can put it in there. Unfortunately, it's a holding on Samalo, so we'll have to take that into account. But he scrambles out the pocket well, keep his eyes downfield here, and deliver a really good ball in between the 3-hole defender and the curl defender. Maybe his best throw of the day. Cover one man, and Hurts makes a good read here because at the bottom you have sort of a wheel route here, basically just designed to rub off the outside cornerback, and then a slant for Jalen Reagor. Now, it doesn't rub off the outside cornerback that much, but it's the right read because if he was getting rubbed off and actually stalled a little bit more than what was the case here, he actually does a pretty good move fluidly getting away from the tight end, then you'd have a lot of space to work with. So, good read and fine throw. Once again, we have cover one man for the Cowboys, except nobody told this guy, so he is playing zone, so it leaves a little bit of a busted coverage here. You got the linebacker man, he's man, everybody except this guy. And Hurts identifies that immediately with the crossing route, even if it would have been, even if it would have covered him and it will still be man, it's still a good route. It's still a good route to choose to throw to at that point. So, good job by Hurts identifying that quickly. Gets a big chunk of yards there. It's the exact same concept that we saw in the beginning of the game, where you have these two guys going deep, and then crossers where you're just reading the levels of whoever of these two guys are more open. Looks like man across the board there, but Dalsgaard doesn't get picked up at that point. He drops the ball, unfortunately. Would have been another really good play back-to-back for him. Let's take a look at the pocket there. Looks good. Hurts steps into the throw. Unfortunately, it's a drop. Cover one man, flood concept at the bottom, and then a quick out at the top to Devontae. And it's so unfortunate that he falls down. Good break on the ball by Trevon Diggs. I don't really have much else to say here. When it's man and your receiver is lined up in off coverage like this, you can't really fault the throw. You can't fault the decision, at least. Maybe you want to put a little bit more to the outside. It's really tough to say from these angles. And with Smith falling down, it does nothing good to the evaluation of it. Other than it's just don't fall down. I guess it's the best way to go about that. Yeah, sucks. Empty formation, cover one for the Cowboys, and Hurts decides to scramble out the pocket immediately. Really, the play didn't even develop. He just ran out there. I don't know if it's by design, but it's very premature. There's nobody open, so he gets what he can. It's all right. Could throw it away, can run out of bounds. Either works. Double jailbreak screens, looks like on this play. You have an opportunity to go down there at the bottom where guys coming out. You have an opportunity to go up there to the top. 97 is going to play that really well. He isn't going to rush upfield. He is actually going to backtrack a little bit as soon as he sees Lane Johnson coming upfield right there. He's going to all right. He's going to come back. So that's a really good play by him. Actually, really makes the play for the Cowboys there and to stop the Eagles on third down. To the top, not that much better, actually. They read this all the way. Here playing against cover two, and the flat defender to the bottom of the screen right here plays this perfectly. He's not coming up for anybody because there is nobody in the flat. So instead of just going up there, he's getting depth with the tight ends here to the bottom. And that is really what confuses Hurts into this throw because he's reading it as if both those guys are going deep. Both the tight ends here are going deep, and then the inside most tight end is going to break out, and he's thinking, all right, then I got the opportunity there in him. Thankfully, he gets pressured enough to not be able to step into the throw and deliver any power at all. Because if he would have done that, this would have been picked off. Because the cornerback here, 30, is in a very good position. See, he's the flat defender. He knows when this guy comes out, that is my responsibility. So he's running the route for Goddard at that. For Ertz at that point. Cover one, main coverage for the Cowboys. And Eagles to the bottom of the screen want to set up the running back here to get the ball in his hands. Those two guys coming deep here and blocking. He's man-man against Jalen Smith. I'm not sure why Jalen Hurts doesn't like that, but he takes off with the ball himself, gets 6 yards. You could argue whether or not it's actually a pretty decent situation out there with Miles Sanders. Get the ball to him right there, let him work against Jalen Smith with 2 blockers downfield. I guess it's not what he wants. I don't know. 3rd down now. Cowboys showing pressure here. Only going to send 4 and play cover 1 man behind it. And both Devontae Smith with curl route here and a good inside head fake, get some separation. Quez Watkins gets some separation as well as he's going out there, and that is forcing the safety to make a decision on whether to go for one or the other. A lot of pressure in the pocket on this throw here or on this play. So it's really impressive that Hurts even gets this off in a position where his receiver can make a play. And let's just take a moment to appreciate that Quez Watkins understands that this ball is underthrown because he can't step into the throw, but he's just putting it up there for Quez. And unlike Reagor on that first interception, Quez is coming back for the ball, working back for the ball here, and making a spectacular catch at a much-needed moment on 3rd down, backed up to the own end zone. That is a very good play by Quez. Also an underrated play by Jalen Hurts, navigating in the pocket here because he got pressure out the middle. So here's just stepping up and then delivering the ball downfield. Need to see more of that. Cover 1 man for Cowboys, and we have, first of all, we have a good inside release here by Jalen Reagor. That's a good release off the line. He has separation downfield. You can take that shot. Now, Hurts decides to scramble out instead of just stepping up into the pocket. And you could tell that he's already in go mode at that point. He's near the line of scrimmage, and he just wants to get some yards at that point. Keeping your eyes downfield, you could see this guy. You could see Greg Ward scrambling, coming out there on the scramble drill. So that would have been an option downfield. But get some positive yards in the play. So can't fault him for it, I know. But there are options when you just keep your eyes down the field. At this point here, you could have just sidestepped and then delivered the pass. Sidestep, deliver the pass. But he's in go mode, so RPO here. Really like the design of this play. So he's going to read on the defensive end, and I think it's Randy Gregory. He's going to crash in there for the running back, so you keep it yourself, and then you have 2 options to throw to. You have one guy coming out here in the wheel. You have a guy right there in front of you. He just delivers the ball there to Zach Ertz. Easy play. It doesn't require much of your quarterback, and you get a bunch of yards of it. Design swing pass for the running back. Everybody else going out there blocking. Doesn't really result in much. Have anybody heard of running at this point? Because maybe you should. This is where you should maybe switch it up inside the 10. Maybe run a little bit instead of just continuously throwing the ball at each and every single play. But now we're going empty. So I mean, it wasn't a secret that we're not running it, but we're definitely not going to run it with any running backs here. So nobody gets open here against cover 1 man. Nobody gets open at all. So relevantly takes off himself, gets about 6-7 yards there. Man coverage, rub route at the bottom. And Zach Ertz gets open immediately because this guy is getting picked off over the middle here. Maybe basically even trips. Could argue get the ball out a little bit faster, a little bit quicker release. As soon as you see that rub, you just gun it in there instead of waiting. Instead of waiting a good 1.5 seconds before throwing it. But it results in a touchdown, so you can't be too mad about it. But if we're gonna point fingers at something, it is as soon as you see that rub, the ball has to come out. Your throwing motion has to start at that point. This sort of looks like an RPO, although I would never really imagine you actually running the ball here on a split zone right, but pulling your tackle away from the play. I can't imagine that actually being a thing. So I think this is just going to fool the defense a little bit and making them think that it is actually RPO, and then instead it's a jailbreak screen. But regardless, Devontae Smith works well here after the catch to get the 1st down. It's lane for Devontae off coverage, so he likes that matchup to begin with. Gets 5 yards, holds on well. For the 3rd time, we see this concept with 2 crossers in the post, and then to the top, a guy coming across the middle, and the running back releasing into the flat. And it is man coverage, so it's a fine decision to throw this ball to the running back, like we've talked about a couple times now. Throw it to him and let him work against that that linebacker coming out there a little bit late. But this is just a horrific throw. Slow, it doesn't get there, and sets Miles Sanders up for failure on this play. Take a look at here from the box. Reads it okay, a little bit late, and then a poor pass. Cover one man for the Cowboys. And Trevon Diggs lined up in off coverage against Devontae Smith right here. Has some good breaks. This is coming out. This is coming to the inside here and has some separation, as well as Rager, who is also coming on an in route from the two receivers position. Good outside release there. Steps him into the cornerback, and then release there over the middle. Now, it is a drop by Devontae Smith, and he has to catch that ball. Take a look at the throw here from the pocket. The only place you want to miss is to the outside. You don't want to miss to the inside when you're going against the man coverage there to the right of Devontae. And he puts it behind Devontae. He has to jump up for it and extend back for the ball. This one you want to place it right in front of him. Let him catch it in pace and in stride, so he can just keep running afterwards, and you don't have this situation where the defender can actually come up there and disrupt the catch point with an arm so on both of them. Next drive, trying to get the ball in space to begin with. We have two options here. We have the running back to the top, and we have the jailbreak screen to the bottom. Now, Hurts throws the pass to the running back. I don't know if this is by design or what it is. It doesn't really go for anything. If you look at a pre-snap, what do you rather want? You have a linebacker to the top, a linebacker in the box, and a defensive end there to the 9-tech side here. And this is to the boundary. You don't really have a lot of space to work with here. Until the field side, you have two receivers on the cornerbacks, and you have Andre Dillard pulling out. Letting the defensive end go naturally. So here you have a lot more space to work with to the bottom. And you have three blockers on three defenders. Actually have another guy coming out here. Two guys actually in the guard in the center. This right down here against off-coverage cornerbacks is just so much more favorable than up top. Take a look at that. 1, 2, 3 on two blockers with a guy chasing to the boundary. Nope. Second down, and we got cover one man for the Cowboys once again. We have a seam to the top here. That is going to clear away the hook the curl defender to that side. So there's some space to work with there with the slant, so you can understand why he throws that. Good catch there in traffic by Rager. Slot concept here against cover one man once again. And good man beaters here. And getting Jalen Rager in space here across the middle against a trailing cornerback is a good matchup. And that's a good way of getting your playmakers in space and utilizing the speed. Throw is fine here by Hurts. He identifies it quickly. Good release right there. Good play. RPO here. So you have two options. You're keying on the defensive end. Is he coming for you, or is he going for the running back? He's going for running back. That's fine. You keep it. And then you make the throw, because it is an RPO. So the offensive line here are thinking run. He might as well have given this to the running back at that point. So you gun it in here for the flat guy. That is your second option. But he keeps it. You can't blame the offensive line for being downfield on a play like that. And so that gets called back. And it's a shame, really, because when we're looking at it, once again, gun it in there, either to your tight end or to the guy going downfield. Cover one, and taking a shot here for Devontae Smith at the top. Has a good release off line, gets good separation there initially. No really other no crossing routes, anything like that. Nothing more favorable to throw the ball to. Plus, you need a chunk of yards here. So it's a fine decision to throw this ball. You want to put it to the outside and so as far as possible, so he can get to the outside as much as possible, so he has clearance from the safety, and as far as possible, so he can work against the cornerback. Underthrown, and so it becomes a contested catch against two guys, and throws incomplete. Jailbreak screen makes sense against this off coverage defense. The problem is that you want the blocks to distribute a little bit more. So you want this guy to go outside, this guy to take number 2, and this guy to take number 3. And then you work from there. Here it just ends up being Rager running into his own blockers. The blocks are not set up at all. It becomes a little bit of panic. So when you get the ball here, let your blocks develop. He runs straight into his guy and runs into a tackle. Fourth down, you get pressure from your left side immediately when he takes the ball right here. So it makes sense for him to scramble out. As soon as he does that, he knows there's pressure and he has to get rid of the ball quickly. And you have a guy wide open here at the flat. Turn your body at that point, throw it to him, let him work for the first down sticks, which is right there. That is your best opportunity at that point because you're just limiting yourself a lot when you're getting out here, and the game is essentially over here. Cover one, have a good option in a slant down here at the bottom. Slot cornerback getting picked off. Also have man there with the tight end. There's an okay throw. Third down short. Play action with a flat concept against cover one man. You have the underneath here, covered deep, and then you have Jalen Reagor with a pretty good route here coming across the middle. Deep pass here, sort of an intermediate pass here, 20 air yards for Hurts. Puts a good ball on him. Cover two, play action, and you're going to have Zach Ertz coming in between the hook, the curl, and the three hole right there. Does a good job finding him. Good decisiveness here. A little flat here to Kenny Gainwell. Once again, it's this time here we got man coverage instead. So finds him well, let him work for first down. Zone coverage down here in the red zone. Hurts going to scramble out pretty quickly here, feeling pressure up the middle, and he just basically just lofts this one into the end zone. I'm not sure he has an idea of what he do. This is just desperation mode, but it ends up being at least looking like a good throw. Not sure how much control he had over that, throwing it into double coverage there, but touchdown regardless in garbage time. So some thoughts on this mess of a game and this embarrassing game. Some things to take away here. I was very disappointed in seeing that Hurts once again was late and once again held on to the ball too long when there were obvious passes downfield to move the chains. It absolutely kills the drives, and it puts pressure on the defense, and when you're going against an offense like Dallas, you have to extend the drives. Otherwise, you're gonna get far behind early in the game. I think Sirianni did a good job of scheming a passing attack with easy one-read throws and jailbreak screens and getting your running backs out and open. Everything Hurts had to do was basically just make one read and make a pass, and every other time that the first read wasn't there, he started scrambling out the pocket and limiting the field. So when you have also a couple downfield passes that weren't far enough, and so when you see your quarterback in his sixth start struggle, it bothers me that you don't adapt your game plan and start running the ball a little bit. I don't care if you're down 13 or 20 in the second and third quarter. You want to stack some drives. You want to keep your offense out there. You want to take some of the pressure off your quarterback, because you might lose the game anyway. But if you're just having your guy out there throwing, I don't know how many passes throughout a game, but running the ball 3 times with the running back, everything else goes on the quarterback, I think that's a bad job by the coach as well. So it kind of falls on everybody. I think this offense can work. I think the passing scheme can work. I think Sirianni had some good schemes out there to execute, and there are some options on the field. But when your quarterback isn't seeing it and he is obviously panicking, you have to adapt, and then you can go through. You can go through the passing game and put more into it and work on those things along the line. But to have everything, your entire offense on the shoulder of your young quarterback, and not utilizing easy runs, anything like that, I think that is a problem. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you made it this far, you are a true fan. If you could endure this whole thing once again, and leave it in the comments what you think of this performance, and let us work through this together.